I'm Stephanie Lloyd, and welcome to Cutting Edge Chicago. Matt Albin is on location, and he'll be joining us a little later. As you all know by now, Cutting Edge Chicago is a music show, but to be quite honest, our first two guests this month aren't musicians, or at least that's what they say. Ben Reynolds and Brant Slay are would-be artists from Athens, Georgia, who started out in music by jamming at Brant's house, mostly on homemade instruments. Well, here are Ben and Brant, also known as the Chickasaw Mudpuppies, to tell us how they wound up getting a record deal.
Hey y'all, it's Chickasaw Mudpuppies from Athens, Georgia.
Before the Mudpuppies began, what were we doing? Well, I was painting houses to support my lifelong ambition of being a visual artist. How's that sound?
God, man, that sounds really big. I was in school. I was in art school, and partying too much and kind of catting around. That's how I met Ben.
Catting around.
That's about it.
Now, you performed in the house? You put on shows for people in the house, you said?
It wasn't any
You wouldn't call them shows.
performances or anything like that. It was more like everybody'd come over and bring little instruments, or we'd whip out all the pots and pans and bang
They
on
knew
pots
there
and
was
pans.
alcohol at Brant's
There you
house,
go,
so they came
free
to the
beer.
party.
So they'd come to the party. And we'd sit around and we'd get a riff. Ben would get a riff going, and we'd be banging on stuff, kicking walls, and you know, anything that could make any kind of noise, we'd be banging on it. And then we'd all go around the room and make a verse of a song, or I don't even know what a verse is, but a line to a song.
We'd just make stuff up.
And there you have it.
Change things around when we felt like it. It's sort of how we do things now.
Good evening on a rainy evening. Song called Macintosh.
Try any kind of instruction after you decided this is what you were going to do? Did you take any lessons? Or?
Man, they ain't no instructions.
Well, I took voice lessons, and then, no.
I think I started working harder at playing guitar after I realized, wait a minute, people are paying their money to come and see this. I mean, I guess I felt a little obligated to hit a few more of the notes, but I mean, I'm always going to be a bad, energetic, hopefully, guitar player. So I just kind of live with it. Don't take lessons or anything.
It's hopeless for me. I'd never had any musical talents before we started doing this, and all I do is have a good time, and hopefully that translates to the people that are, listening to it.
Now, how did you move up from just playing in a house for a bunch of people who came after the smell of alcohol to getting a record contract? How did that come
Total, subtle, transitional accident. That's all it was.
Man, those some big words.
That
I'm
was.
sure I understand. We just kind of lucked into it.
Yeah. We didn't expect to be playing clubs. We just got drunk one night and went to a coffee house. Played at a local friend's coffee house. Played our 5 songs 3 times over and left. And then we got asked to do a club in Athens, and you can take it from there, Big Daddy. Go ahead.
We did a club in Athens, and we just sort of kept on playing and got a little outside interest, I guess, because what we were doing, people saw as unique. Now, I'm not saying that it is, but sooner or later we made it down to Austin, Texas, and played down there, and a bunch of record people saw us down there.
Oh, it's South by Southwest.
South by Southwest, and that led to the record deal eventually. It's been, I guess in the scheme of things, it's been a very short time, but to us it seemed like a very long time.
Yeah. The 4th year, January.
Yeah.
And it's, most bands I mean, not to even thought about being where we are. We're really, really lucky. But
I mean, we picked up our instruments 4 years ago, basically, and started. I'd played before, years before, but I picked up my instrument again, and Brant picked up his instrument for the first time 4 years ago. So we're pretty young still as far as musicality goes.
yep.
Do you remember? Hands clutched the troubadour. You were not a member. You were not a member. Well, I'll be dogged, I'll ride a boat. You carry the flag and I'll carry the scroll. You're mine and my mind. You're mine and my mind. I used to remember. It was a close dragon lizard. Song from the river. Song from the river. Like the dead you hear, like the past you gone. Ride the sundown sky to keep my lonesome strong. Skyline, skyline. Skyline, skyline. Skyline, skyline. Skyline, skyline. Let's drink the numbers. Time for pretenders. Lifetime pretenders. Lifetime pretenders. Will you count me out or you count me in? Don't you count today and then change again. Your mind is my mind. Your mind is my mind. Can you remember? You were not a saint. One count of right wheels, one count of right wheels. Hand by hand, kindled at both ends, and then another glance. Skyline to skyline, skyline to skyline, skyline to skyline, skyline to skyline. Bouncing a feather, you were always younger. Barefooted brother, barefooted brother. Look like me, I think you shouldn't care. We're the same razor back to the same state fair. Skyline to skyline, skyline to skyline, skyline to skyline, skyline to skyline.
Last November, some of you might have read this article in the Illinois Entertainer. Lots of people turn to the Illinois Entertainer to find out what's going on with the Chicago music scene. Well, we decided to go behind the scenes at the Entertainer, and Matt went on the road and talked to the editor, Michael C. Harris.
Hi, thanks, Stephanie. I'm here at the offices of the Illinois Entertainer, and right now I'm going to be talking to editor Michael C. Harris. So join me, will you? And hello, Mike.
Howdy.
I'm Matt from Cutting Edge Chicago. So tell me, how did Illinois Entertainer get started?
It started in 1975 in November. Ken Voss began it as a calendar-like newsletter magazine, but it was mostly a calendar, and it just grew and grew and grew. And in, I believe, 84, Dave Roberts bought it, and it has changed sizes, and it went from a fold-out like this to what it is now, and now it's gotten a little bit bigger again. So
So that's basically how it's changed even recently.
yeah, like a year. Actually, last June we went from a little more squatter size to a little taller. There's a big steroid jump, you know.
How are you able to give your magazine away for free?
How can we put it out for free? Because the majority of it, if you notice, is advertising. And that's what pays for it all. All the advertising that you see, it's 100% advertising based, so that's why when you look through it, there's not only a lot of good, information, who's playing at what clubs, instruments that are available, movies that are coming out, all that stuff, which is basically the nut of the whole magazine. But you also have, hopefully, interesting stories and reviews and profiles that people want to read, too, so.
Okay. Who's your readership? Who do you...
Our readers are, I think the last time they did a readership survey, it was like later middle teens to mid-30s or something like that. But lately, when we've been having some of these mail-in things like this Chicago Music Awards, we've been, we also had a movie promo, and we've been getting a lot of people. We were surprised how many people who are now getting up into, late 30s, early 40s who say they pick it up every month, and they pick it up at the same store every month, and it seems to be pretty wide. I mean, surprisingly so.
How does one manage to get into Illinois Entertainer?
If you're an entertainer, you get in just by keep letting us know that you're out there and sending us your music or your tapes or whatever, and being out there, playing the clubs.
So in other words, you don't have to be famous to get into the...
Not at all. Not at all. If you read, go through this new one, and you've got your big acts like Havana 3 a.m. and Mr. Lee and Delight and all that, but you've also got a majority of this book which is dedicated to local people, either bands, studio activity, anything. I mean, comedy, theater to some extent, but mostly music. And you don't have to be famous. We like to concentrate on the local people simply because they don't get any press, and we're a local magazine, so we should give them a lot of press, Of course, some people will tell you that we don't give them enough press, and that's everybody's complaint, but oh well.
What goes into getting published each month?
A lot. A lot of work. Basically, we have the editorial department and the ad department. And we work on slightly different schedules. The editorial stuff starts the first of the month. Like right now, April 1st, we started getting ready to put May out, which is going to be sent down to the printer and printed in about a week. So we've got about 3 weeks or so to get all the copy in, typeset it, edit it, design it, get the artwork for it, be done with it, and about midway through there, the ad department starts kicking into their hardcore schedule, and they basically do the same thing, get the ads, design them if they need to, proof them and all that, and hopefully they all come together like the 23rd or 24th of the month.
So you put up with the first time.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's usually a couple weeks where you're really busy and you're here a long time. Like tonight, people are here until 6:37, and it's very time-consuming and stressed out. And then there's usually a week or so where it's dead because it's right in between the deadlines, and we're just sort of waiting around for the papers. And that's when we do things like clean and take care of paperwork and resumes that I get. That's the dead time.
Okay.
This here is the lovely production room with people who
Hello,
produce
everybody.
things, such as John Everson standing here, who is our associate editor. Penny Biver, who is our editorial assistant. Heather Barr, who is the newest member of the crowd. And just some computers and a light table.
And a light table. Who renders the proofs? Who looks at all the proofs and makes
this
sure
fellow right here, John, just recently does a lot of computer editing now, and then they come to me, and then Heather right here has been busily designing, and she puts the designs together, and does a lot of tweaking and all that stuff to make sure that things come out properly, as does Penny for our columns and stuff, but Penny also does our classifieds and our calendar and a lot of shit. Penny does a lot of shit.
Well, that sums it up right there, doesn't it now? A lot of shit.
There you go.
Queen O' shit.
Queen O' shit,
of the shit, yeah. That's really it. I mean, it's just done in these offices, sitting behind boring desks and and even more boring computers, except they've got fun graphics.
Tunes.
But we get to play tunes all the time, so.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters is
Yeah.
party in the office.
And we get to, get annoyed and be bummed out and then crank tunes and feel better. And
Are there any?
Say fuck a lot. Can we say that on your show?
Can we say safe?
we say a lot. Yeah. Right around this time of the month especially, there's a lot of going on. I mean, it's saying the word.
Another office.
Just FYI is John's office where John is now sitting. He was standing there before.
Okay. And what is John's job? What do you do here?
I'm associate editor.
Associate. What do they do?
Associate editors read all the stories, make sure there's no obvious mistakes, assign some of the local features, the media features, media column. Generally help out the big guy.
Oh yeah, right. And he keeps the fish.
And keeps the fish, the mascots.
He is the keeper of the fish.
Keeper o' fish.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Queen o' shit and Keeper o' fish here today. Okay, and where next now?
We could go over this way now. This is where it gets sort of,
This gets interesting and fun.
Here's the big reception area.
The big kahuna, right here.
Now this is actually an ad guy at work. Scott Assman.
Got ad guy at work. Can we bug you for a couple minutes? Just 30 seconds. Come on, 30 seconds. Okay.
Busy. Look at this pile.
And what is your job here?
Account representative, to be specific.
Okay. And what are you busy doing here that we only have a few seconds to talk to you with?
Oh, coordinating, collating, you name it. Mopping the floor. I got to do that in about 20 seconds. I think we're down to now. So putting together ads, different clients, everything from clubs to retailers to bands, record stores. So.
How long do you have to put all this stuff together? Do you just?
Probably initially about 10 days. Anywhere we're ranging from the 10th to the 20th of the month, and we go to.
So you're at day what right now?
We're probably at day 5 with 5 left to go, including weekends.
Including weekends.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, great. Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay. Where next now? Follow.
Well, briefly, because he has even less time than Scott.
Even less time.
This is the publisher, Dave Roberts.
Publisher. Hi, Matt Albin, Cutting Edge Chicago. How you doing? And what is your job here? What do you do? I'm the boss.
I sweep the floors.
He sweeps the floors.
And currently is actually putting the book together that you'll see in May.
Yeah,
so.
I'm designing the layout of the book right now. I'll give it to the production people tonight when I'm done with it, and by Tuesday we'll have a baby.
Great.
And we'll be passing out cigars.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your time. This is the fun room.
Pretty much the Hell archives. Here are all our local photos, national photos, old issues dating back, and just storage stuff. But the very key thing is what fuels a lot of the Illinois Entertainer is right here.
The coffee pot.
Yeah, this is pretty much the sponsored fuel of the Illinois Entertainer.
Great.
That's it.
Okay, well, thank you, Mike, for being on the show and for all your time, okay?
No problem.
And back to you, Stephanie.
Our next band, Wire Train, is one of the most colorful groups we've ever interviewed. We caught them opening for Bob Dylan at the Chicago Theater, and they even did an acoustic performance for us. Well, here's Wire Train.
How did Wire Train form and get together? I was at school and just had some songs and decided to start a band. Put a little business card on the back side of a door of a music store in Berkeley, and Anders saw it, the only person. And I got the gig. We met at a swap meet, right, Kevin? That's right. I was looking for a new brother. Brian was there on a rack with other brothers, hanging up. Jeff, how did you join the band?
Brian called me up and said, come on down and do a little playing, and I said, well, I don't know, I'm doing some things, and he goes, oh, you should come down. So I played, and they all thought I was weird, and so they said, well, you can be in the group, I guess, as long as you load all the gear into the van and go to the gig, you know. She supplied a PA and everything. So I said, okay, I'll join.
She had a tragic fascination for witnessing the votes. She'd stand in line for hours for letters that he wrote. On Sunday morning when we saw her, she'd be walking towards the harbor. I think that it could be good. I think that it could be good. I think that it could be good. Should she cry? So say I, yes, she should.
Well, the album consists of a bunch of songs. Some of them were written more by one person coming in with an idea for a song, and the whole band adding the vibe and the treatment to the song. And then a couple of songs were just jammed up in the studio on the spot. Like Tin Jesus is a song that to a large part was jammed up in the studio. We didn't have an arrangement for it really, and it was late at night and we were just going over it, and finally we got a take of it that ended up being about 9 minutes long, and first it was like, wow, can we put something on this record that's this long? And then it was just the right thing, so that was it.
Well, besides the frying pan, they didn't think I could play guitar that well, so they actually got in a studio musician to do all my parts. But I contributed on If You See Her Go. I played a little slide, but they had David Gilmour come in and play guitar on Tin Jesus because he's a little better than I am, so it was a little
He's
easier.
got more money than you do.
He's got more money.
He's got a bigger frying pan.
He's got a bigger PA too.
Yeah, for me it was a lot of fun to actually play with the whole band as opposed to playing to a click track. Usually that's how we do a record, is we lay down a click track and I play the whole record. And then they come and lay down everything. And this time we all played together and got to trade ideas back and forth, so that was nice. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed recording this time because it's just like Brian says, that a lot of times if you do a record the more kind of English way, or piecing it together, it's very hard to get a final recording where all of the instruments are really interacting. And I think that on this album we managed to do that with vocals, live vocals going on and everybody playing, and then just doing a lot of cuts and picking the one that felt the best.
It's kind of like an adventure in learn to love your mess. Most people, when they play, it's a big mess, and then they get some experts in there, grown-up figures, come in and file away at the mess until it's just a big polished turd. But we just learned to love our mess, and we put it out the way it sounded.
Thank you for joining us this month on Cutting Edge Chicago. We'd like to know what you think, so give us a call or drop us a letter. Hey, mailbox. 365 days a year, the postman's around there somewhere. Anyway, give us a letter, give us a call. But from all of us at Cutting Edge, thanks for joining us this month. See you later. Bye.